Yo, what's good, traders? This is your boy Jay Devar bringing y'all a new upload this week, man. And in this week's upload, I actually prepared a quick little presentation for y'all, basically on how to get your first payout, right? Me personally, I've gotten a few payouts from different firms, both in forex and in futures. So I just feel like giving my honest take and my honest advice on like some of the things that I was going through at that time while I was trying to get that first payout, from some of those firms back in 2023, and I got a payout in 2025 from my first futures firm. So, I just wanted to share some honest advice, and some things that I was going through during that time, and so I'm just hoping this is going to be a pretty insightful video for anybody new out there, or if you haven't gotten your first payout yet, or if you have gotten a payout already, you're just trying to get your next one with these prop firms, just sharing some insights and just letting y'all know, like, whatever you might be dealing with, you're not the only one dealing with it. It's like we as traders, we all have similar problems, right? But so I'm gonna go ahead and get into this. But before we do that, I do ask you guys, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, and feel free to comment down below what you guys think of my advice. And honestly, let me know how much your first payout was, or if you've gotten any payouts for 2025. So you're gonna go ahead and get into it. I want to say, okay, here we go. All right. So some practical steps, mindset, and defining your risk, right? So first of all, congratulations on getting funded, right? If you're watching this and you've already passed your challenge phase with this applies to forex too. I moved over to futures now back in late 2024, and I've been trading futures firms since like 2020, since 2024, late 2024. So and going into this year, right? So if this is your first time getting funded, congratulations. If you haven't gotten funded yet, it's a process. It's just keep taking your time. You know what I mean? But like I said, congrats on getting funded. Now take your time. It ain't no rush, right? The quote unquote hard part is over, right? Trying to get funded past the evaluation phase. I know during the evaluation phase, you can kind of get a little bit like me personally, I can get a little bit impatient, and I'm pretty sure there's other people out there that feel the same way during their challenge phase. It's like, man, I could pass this in one trade, you know what I mean? So people just over leverage. Some people are just over leveraging YOLO and try to pass the account in one day. That's if the firm allows you to. Some firms allow passing within one day. Other firms, you got to trade for at least 5 trading days or so. But yeah, so like I said, if you've gotten funded, congratulations. Now take your time, right? Some practical steps. Consider taking a small break if it's your first time getting funded. Me personally, that's what I did because I've gotten before I got my first payouts. I've gotten funded before and I passed challenge phases, and then I would just get right back into it the following week, and I didn't seek success doing that right away. So what I decided to do was, especially going into this year with futures firms, was I decided to just take a little break, take a little time off, take a couple of days off before I get back into the market, right? So doing that is kind of like what helped me get my, kind of get my mind right, so I could put my game face on, like, all right, I'm funded now. I got to put some more rules, stricter rules in place in my trading plan. Like, hey, really kind of like just hone in on managing risk and not over leveraging and not taking too many trades because I would hate for all my hard work to basically be for nothing, right? So, yeah, consider taking a break, and it's okay. I know some firms, especially I know some futures firms, they have this thing of like you have to take a trade once at least take at least one trade every week, you know. So just be sure you're looking at the rules when you get funded. Be sure you read over the contract and everything that you gotta sign and verify, and then they'll send it back to you and everything like that. But just be sure you go through the rules, right? Because they have certain things in there like that if you're not looking for it, you might miss it, right? So yeah, be sure you understand the drawdown rules and the minimum trading days. Like I said, some firms do same day payouts, although it's not many. They do same day payouts. Some of them do it too as an add-on, right? But yeah, just be sure you're paying attention to the rules and minimum trading days. Some firms do same day payouts. Some firms you have to trade for at least 5 days before you're eligible. Some is like 10. So this depends on the firm that you're trading with. Mindset: take your time, right? I'm gonna say it again: take your time. You fund it. There's no need to rush. There's no need to try to YOLO the account again, you know, if that's what you did do to get funded in the first place. But take your time. There's no rush. You don't need to go for no more Hail Mary trades. You know, as long as you're just being consistent in your process, profits will come. And that's something that I have to learn, that I'm still trying to work on and learn for myself also, you know, because me personally, I tend to revenge trade because I'm just like, dang, I really feel like I was right on that setup. So I try to go in again and earn that money back. And just right now, it's one thing I'm learning about myself and my trading is that it's really hard for me to walk away right now, especially like if I incur a loss. Because I really hate seeing that when I do the days that I do decide to take a step back, you know, after going through a loss and I see the market go ahead and take off in the direction that I thought it would go, that makes me mad. I ain't gonna lie to you. That pisses me off a little bit, you know. So um that's something that I still battle with, you know, or that I'm still kind of like, I don't want to say battling or put that in the context of like it's like such a negative thing, but just it's something that I'm learning to manage. I'm gonna say it like that. It's something I'm learning to manage right now. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This presentation is gonna be a little bit of therapy for me too, you know. So we both getting some benefit from this. But so and lastly, to find your risk, how much are you gonna risk per trade? I personally risk between a half a percent and up to 1%, right? That's just on my initial position, right? If I enter a position at a half a percent or 1%, and I notice that and I see that my setup is moving in the direction that I'm anticipating, then I'll go ahead and sprinkle in a couple more additional positions, like a couple more contracts stacking on top of my previous position. And you know, then just from there, depending on how it's going, I'll decide on if I want to take some off, like take some partials and take some off, or and then just let the rest run, or if I just want to move my stop up and be at zero risk and just let it do what it do, you know. Um, but yeah, like I said right there, I'll only stack on if it makes sense too. All right, so click. All right, managing expectations, right? So again, you funded. Congratulations. However, don't think that you just finna be taking these Hail Mary trades and making $2,000 this day and $5,000 the next day, right? Like you really need to hone in and manage your expectations, right? Because it might not go how you think it is, right? I know we tend to, especially me. I know like we tend to, you know, focus on the positives, you know, but and then focusing so much on the positives, you'll lose sight of, you know, the potential negatives, right? Like the name of the game is you're taking risk, right? So you either win or lose, you know, there's good and bad with taking risks, right? So again, manage your expectations, and that's in the form of how much did you make per day, right? So from what I've seen, because I also done prop firm reviews on my channel, y'all can check that out on my playlist. I'll probably link it here somewhere like after this video, but I know most firms they have what's called a consistency rule. So some of them it can be up to 40%. So and basically, if for those who don't know, but a consistency rule is basically your highest profitable day can't exceed the drawdown. If no your high no your highest profitable day can't be greater than 20% of the previous day, right? So say for example you make $1,000 one day. Now going into the next day, say you make 2,000, right? That's over that 20 or 30% consistency rule right there, right? I'm sorry I messed that up at first, but yeah. So say you make $1,000 the first day, then the second day you make $2,000. The first day you made $1,000. That's your highest profitable day. The second day after that you make 2,000. Now you basically doubled that. So you exceeded the consistency rule, right? They want to see consistent trades, not say Hail Mary trades that make it look like you over leveraging, you know, because it just looks like you trying to just YOLO it and get a big payout, right? And most of these firms don't like traders like that, right? They don't want to, you know, they don't want people that's trying to like quote unquote game the system, right? So, because you made that 2,000, that day exceeds the consistency rule, and now that $2,000 that you made that day, that becomes your highest profitable day. So now what you need to do is to stay underneath that rule. You need to make at least you need to make say less than that. So if you make 1,000, you exceed the rule again because that's 50% of that highest profitable day, right? So if you want to keep it under that, you want to make say about $500. That's underneath that consistency rule, right? So the name of the game. Try to keep your trades between $500 to $1,000, if that, depending on what your highest profitable day was. So if it's $2,000, your highest profitable day, try to keep everything at least underneath, say $700 or so, right? So you don't exceed that rule per se. Um, and also too, you also got to make a minimum of at least $200. I know most firms, they say you need to make it a minimum of $200 a day for the day to count, and also too, you got to be within the consistency rule of whatever percentage they say, right? Um, Consistency will be rewarded, so there's no need to go for big wins every day. Most of your trades won't go to take profit on some days, especially like if with market conditions like this right now with the inside of the S&P, and the government shut down. It's October 4th, and earlier this week the government shut down and everything. So nobody knows what's going to happen right now. So there's a lot of uncertainty inside of the markets right now. So trying to go for big positions might not work out in your favor, right? Let's see. And small wins can compound to big gains over time, right? So these are a couple of my personal payouts. This is one I got from the Funded Trader back in 2023, right here. This is one of my first payouts back in 2023 in October. Oh wow, 2 years ago. Look how far I've come. And this is one of the most recent ones I took from ETF. You guys can see Elite One Step right here. I blocked that out because I had my account number and everything in it. I took a payout of $2,500. That's the first payout from that account before I ended up blowing it. But at least I got a payout from it, right? And I did some good things with that payout also, right? And this is from the Rise Pay, so they make you sign up with Rise, and that's how they make all their payments to their funded traders. And so like I said, the goal is just to get to just get your first one, right? After that, you can prove. After that, that basically proves to yourself that like, hey, I can do this, right? So the goal is to get to the first. No need to rush at all. The payouts can always be and then the payout that you get, you can always be reinvested into new accounts or whatever you say need the money for, right? Be sure to know the firm that you're trading with. Not like I said right here, not every firm is the same. Everybody has different rules, right? So just need to be mindful of the firm that you have. Make sure you understand the rules, because you would hate to lose your account because you didn't follow the rules, or there was a rule that you weren't aware of. Like some firms have different rules around news trading. Some say you're not allowed to trade 5 minutes before. Some say 10. And some you're not allowed to trade news at all during those times, or certain session times. So also, does the firm fit your trading style? So most futures firms, this is specifically for futures. Most futures firms generally just cater to day traders and scalpers. They don't necessarily cater to swing traders, and that was kind of an adjustment for me because I prefer to swing my positions or hold my positions for a period of time, especially because I work and everything of the sort. So I'm not always available to sit in the charts during, say, the New York session, from like 9 to 10 or 9:30 to 11 o'clock, because I'm usually at work around that time. So but like I said right here, you can quote unquote swing during certain hours. So what I had to do was to adjust for my strategy so I can hold. I had to start trading in Asian session. So I had to start trading. Basically, my trading would start at like, say, between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. And I just look at what the market did and see if we should expand to, say, a certain area, like an area of liquidity, whether it be like a fair value gap or an old high or low based off the higher time frame. Is usually a daily or weekly chart, right? So just based off of that, I look to enter in the Asian session, and then I just hold my position. If I'm in the market, I just hold my position going into the London session and the New York session. I just wake up and I go from there. Let's see, trading days. And right here, be sure you understand the trading days. Like some firms, you only need 5 trading days before you're eligible for a payout. Some is 7, 8, and some is 10, right? So, just got to pick which one works for you. Key metrics and journaling. So most firms have a dashboard that records the trades for you. There can be valuable insight here, so you can notice things. Say you making money consistently, or you're winning more trades consistently with one asset class. So that could be either in the indexes, say like the Nasdaq or the S&P. It could also be metals, so say gold and silver. I kind of suck trading with gold and silver, and or it could be currencies, right? So it could be say the 6E, the euro, or the 6B, the British pound. So, uh, you can notice little things like that. So like, hey, or you can also notice things like during a specific time window. That's where you're generally like making your most consistent gains, right? So it's just little things like that that you can notice. Um, Inside of those metrics and inside of the dashboard, and it might actually help you. So you might want to consider studying that a little bit. Also, keeping your own journal. It can help you determine which setups make the most money and which ones are you consistent at more seeing. So me personally, in my journal, I use Notion, and in my Notion journal, I noticed that during that time, most of the trades I took before I got my first payout, most of the trades that I took was on the 6E and the 6B. So it was on the in the currency futures currencies, right? So the 6B and the 6E, the euro and the pound, right? So and that's something I might want to consider going forward, right? That I should look to trade the currencies because everything just seems to I could just recognize everything way easier in the currencies where I say like on the indexes and in the metals, right? Especially with how the market conditions have been right about now. It's a lot of uncertainty going on. So with the US markets. So it may be best in my favor personally to like look at foreign markets, right? So risk management and win rates. Don't worry about win rates. Like I see people all the time saying that, or I've seen some traders saying that you need to have at least a 70% win rate to be profitable, and that's just not true, right? There are traders out there that can basically win only 30% of the trades. So every 10 trades, they can only win three of them, while they lose seven, but they can still end up profitable for the week or for the month, right? So, win rate just doesn't matter. What matters is consistent risk management, right? Because like there's days like some days you might go on tilt. I've experienced that myself, also going on tilt. Because when I've had like a string of losses, I tend to just say not like give up per se, but I just blank out and go like, all right, bump it, like whatever. If we close the drawdown, all right, bump it. I'm just YOLO it. I just like shut down and I just put on like this nonchalant attitude of like, it is what it is, whatever, blah blah blah. And that's something that I've noticed about myself, especially when I have a string of losses and I can't seem to get myself like out of that rut, right? But taking a break might help with that, right? So, like I said, that's just the name of the game, right? Some days there's gonna be times where you go on tilt, and there's gonna be weeks where like everything is green, right? Because also during that time, I had a span of like a couple weeks where every time I took a trade, I won, right? And it's really important to keep your ego in check, right? Because it can and it will affect your risk management, right? So, like I said, win rate doesn't matter. The risk management does. You can win 30% of your trades and you can still make money, right? And also, here's another quick little tip because I've seen other traders on YouTube doing this, and I'm glad I stumbled upon that. But what they would do was, so with the futures firms, they usually partner with TraderVate. That's usually one of the brokers that they offer with the simulation accounts, right? So I personally like to use TraderVate because I can link it to TradingView because I trade directly off TradingView and I do all my charting there, right? So uh, inside of your brokerage, you can use the login from the firm and go to the brokerage, the actual brokerage website, and log in that way. And you can also set up risk parameters or loss limits, right? So me personally, I went in and I set a loss limit for $500. So if I lose $500 on the account, it just locks me out for the rest of the day. I can't take any more trades, and that actually did help me for a little bit. But TraderVate had this thing, like this weird thing going on where like you would set it and it would work for a bit, and then eventually it was like just go away, which I'm not. I hope they fix that. Um, I hope they fix that because yeah, that was kind of a bummer, but that really did help me out, So it's just like that kind of like forced me to be like, you know what? All right, let me go and cool off and take my mind off of it, and then just get ready for the next day, right? So yeah, that's a quick little tip because that can help you out with risk management, and that really I saw the benefits of that, and I've also seen traders also showing the benefits of how just doing that one little thing helped them also. You can also set it for profits too. So like if you make $1,000, you can set it to where it locks you out for the rest of the day, right? So protecting those gains and also protecting yourself from taking too many losses, right? So yeah, that's a nice little tip, right? And remember, slow and steady. I think we got one more slide to go. And that's it. So thanks for watching. Good luck on your journey. You got this. And so if you guys still stay to watch this presentation, I really do appreciate it. I ask you guys, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and like I said, comment down below. Just let me know if like this presentation like gave anybody any insights or some valuable tips. Because like I said, I want my channel to be sort of helping putting out content that helps newer traders and say traders that may be like me, been trading for a while, just haven't really found consistency yet, but are just getting there, on your journey, right? So with that being said, like I said again, if you guys did stay to watch the video, I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you guys please do subscribe and like the channel, right? So with that being said, y'all, this is your boy Jay Davari, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Peace out.